Hello and welcome to Wild West Garage. My name's Morgan and I'm standing in front of the 1950 Chevy cab again. Got a lot of videos on this cab so far. If you haven't seen them already, you might want to check them out. And just most recently, I've posted a couple videos on how I built this little benchtop English wheel. So if you're interested in English wheeling, and I assume that's why you're here, you might want to check those out too. So this cab corner is the first part that I've ever made on an English wheel. First part I've ever made in my own in-house built English wheel. So it's pretty exciting for me. I learned a few things. I kind of, what do you want to say? I've reached a point in my life where I realized one of my dreams. Having a English wheel and making parts on an English wheel has always been on my bucket list. So I ticked off two things in the last week. So anyways, if you're interested in sticking around, seeing how I do this cab corner, please, it's a long one, so you have to bear with me. There's a lot of wheeling. There's a little bit of talk here and there. I won't be offended if you skip to the end to see how it turned out. So anyways, enjoy. Thanks. So this side's in way better shape than the other side was. The other side was rotted right off up into here. So I got a lot more to go by here. So I'm just going to make the skin and just lay it on here and use this as the buck to develop this piece. Yeah, so I mean, basically that's it. So I'll just set the camera up here and get going on the template so I can work out how much material I need for this, and we'll get to work. I mean, this will probably end up being a lot like, in reality, it'll be very similar to how I did the other one, except this time I've got the English wheel to smooth it all out when I start beating on it. I want to make sure I have enough material here. Last time I ended up short in the spot. I had to add a piece. I don't want to have to do that. Like wrapping Christmas presents. I'm just going to go ahead and tape over that so it holds that shape. There, I'll get the white glue out, a couple more layers of newspaper, and it'll be done. What do you call that? Paper mache? Why not, eh? I could just get the welder out and run a bunch of beads on here until it's covered. See how that works. Somebody thinks it works. So what I'm thinking here is, see how this is all kind of, it's got the, it's holding the shape more or less that it was on the truck. So if I push this all down flat, it'll all kind of overlap itself, and that should be the shape of the piece I need. Because then when I start wheeling this, it's gonna stretch that and it'll expand, and this will come up just like it was in the paper mode, and it should make the shape that I need, right? That's what I'm going with. So here's the blank 18 gauge. So I'm going to start out by mangling it on my stump here a little bit, like I did last time. And I'm really going to mangle it. Alright, so I thought I was filming this, but the camera wasn't turned on, so this is how far I got before I realized you missed everything. So basically what I did was I just put the blank on the stump here, hit it a bunch of times, caused some tucks to form. So you can see a couple of them right there. And while I thought I was filming, I outlined these tuck shrink marks here with the pen, so you can really see how this area here shrunk. That was from these two are from a tuck. Then I used the shrinking machine a little bit. You can see the marks it left, and did the same over here. So there's a couple areas like right there from a tuck shrink, another one right here, and then I did some work with the shrinker here as well. So anyways, this is how it's starting to come around. It's starting to look like it might be something. So I'm just going to keep working on it and make sure the camera's on. Having a little trouble with the tracking on the rollers. I don't know if you can see that. See how it's going all the way this way, all the way that way now. keeps running into the side, and it's actually getting stuck sometimes. It's kind of putting on the brakes. So see if I can make it track straighter. The top wheel's going that way and the bottom wheel's going that way, so better. Now it's staying in the middle. It is tracking a little bit, but not as bad as it was. Yeah, that's right. I'm okay with that now. It even sounds better, I think. Let's brush on it. Yeah, it sounds different. Try it on the truck. It's starting to fit pretty good. So now I need to, so this radius here kind of diminishes, and it gets where it bends down underneath the back of the cab. It's quite a sharp bend here, so I got to figure out how to, well, I'm gonna have to bend it in there. But I won't be able to do that on the machine, so I'm just trying to get this whole area fitted here, and then I'll move on to that. I just need to wheel it out a bit more in this area here so it tucks in more. So this transition from here to here, just gonna check it with a square. It's not 90 degrees. It's looking good. Oh, I think I'm gonna reduce the pressure here a little bit. Just try to get this cleaned up a bit because it's leaving a lot of ridges. A lot of tracking marks, a lot of wheeling marks being the pressure cranked up quite a ways. Hopefully if I reduce the pressure, it'll just kind of smooth it out. I think that is working actually. Yeah, it looks a lot smoother now. You know, navigating around this piece, it's almost like the more I think about it, the harder it is to do. If I just sort of keep a little bit of pressure, if I want to go that way, just keep a little pressure on this side, and it just goes that way. If I think about trying to make it go that way, then it doesn't work. Yeah, fine. When I fit it on the truck, it's all kind of sticking out right here. So I think I need to do another shrink there. So I'm going to try and make another tuck. A lot more acorns to smooth out here. Hopefully I didn't overstretch it. bit better on the truck now. So if I hold this on the truck, it's touching here, it's not touching here, it's not touching here. So I just got to make this area here bigger. This will stay small, and it should tuck in. I think, I don't know, I probably already said that once. Just got to keep at it. And of course I got to kind of feather this out to the outside a little bit, otherwise it's going to end up, you know, having a flare on both sides. So and I got to flare it out in all directions, right? Or feather it out, otherwise it's going to get a flare.
The rollers are up the side again. The roller angle.
Got to spend more time in the middle than I do on the sides. You hear that kind of cogging? That's I'm just going 90 degrees to my passes, and it's bumpy. It's making kind of ridges. So it's really moving a lot of material right now. Getting real close. I need to wheel a bit more shape into this area right there. And that comes out fast. Put a few shrinks in this bottom edge here. Yeah, that's doing what I want it to do right there. Turning underneath. Greatly reduce the pressure to run over that area there a little bit. Smooth it out some. I'm just going to shrink this edge a little bit too. It's a little flared out there. And there's some puckers along this edge. So I'm just going to shrink that a little bit as well. Wow, that made a lot of difference in the shape of this. Let's see. So when I try to press it onto the truck, it's sticking out here and here, and it's kind of, this area here is kind of a fulcrum. So I'm going to have to put some more shape out here. I keep chasing it out here, so that's what I got to do. Remember to blend it into the rest of the surrounding area. A bit of a bulge right there. I'm gonna try and shrink that spot right there. It's a bit of a bulge right here. See, when it gets out here, it's almost straight up. Comes down, very tight corner here. So I don't want to wheel it out into this area too much because then I'll have to shrink this down. Just want to feather it into that area. And this has come a long way from a flat piece of metal.
More shrinks here.
Right on the truck. The only way you're gonna really learn how to do this stuff is to do it. I've been dreaming about this for years. I'm 56 years old. You know? Working as a heavy-duty mechanic, dreaming about shaping metal. I don't regret that. I mean, it helped me make a living for my family. So maybe I'll regret this. I don't think so. I'm smiling right now. No regrets at the moment. Could have bought this panel, but then I wouldn't have learned anything about English wheeling by doing that. All I would have learned is how to fit somebody else's panel to my truck and how to weld. And how much I still want to shape metal. That's what I would be thinking. I could have made this. I could have made this part. Probably better than this part that I have in my hand. I don't know. Maybe not. This is going to turn out. Probably wouldn't be an 18 gauge part. I mean, this isn't going to be 18 gauge in the area that I'm wheeling here. So if they start with 20 gauge and shape it into this shape, it's going to be thinner than 20 gauge in the corner. So depending how they do it, I don't know how they do it. I guess it's stamped. It still has to stretch. So hopefully this is thicker than 20 gauge overall. We're done. Maybe I'm dreaming. I don't know. I'm not going to measure it. Feels strong. This area fits really well. It's just this part. It's not fitting so well. I think we just got to keep wheeling this up here, and it's going to curve more. It's got to. I just don't want it to end up being bulged out, that's all. I'm just going to focus on this area here at the back of the cab. It's getting a bit of a flare out here, so I gotta wheel it out here a bit more. It's getting there. Put some more strengths in the bottom. Reduce the pressure a little bit so it's not so aggressive. See if I can't smooth this thing out a bit.
Kind of rigid.
Kind of at the point now where I think I'm going to have to establish this bend here in the back of the cab corner. And then if I need to wheel it some more, I'll just have to straighten it out. See how this comes around like this? And then it shoots off. See, it kind of flares out here. That's staying away from the cab. So I'm just thinking if I make this fold here wherever I think it needs to be, and that's gonna bring this all up, right? Tighten this all up. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I have this tool here. I don't have a vise in here, so I have to take it out into the other shop. So just clamp it in the vise and bend it around this pipe. So that's done what I wanted it to do. But now it's kind of got a belly in it here. So I'm gonna have to shrink this whole area now to bring it up. So if I move this bend further down, that'll take some of that belly out too. I think that's part of the problem. And I'm going to do a little more shrinking over here, because this is kind of wavy here.
Getting close.
So I'm getting to the point now where I can start trimming this thing a little bit, because there's a lot more material here than I need. Well, not a lot more, but quite a bit more, however you want to say it. So I'm gonna clamp this thing on here and trim some of this off and mark it so I can trim it. It's no use fighting the extra material. You don't need it. Sits on there pretty good. It's fitting really well. It's the fine tuning stage now. Mark there. Make a mark here. So I can safely trim that off. See how when I press on here, that moves out? I don't know if you can see that. So that means I need to develop it a little bit more right here. Because there's a fulcrum right here. Somewhere in this area. That'll allow that whole thing to move that way too a bit. Okay, so got trimmed. And like I was talking about here, I'm going to develop this here a little bit more in this area.
ridges that I make.
The shape looks good. I like the way it looks. You can see those, I don't know if you can see those ridges it's making. So I'm gonna have to back off the pressure, I think, to get rid of that.
More shrinking right here.
So I'm running into the same problem here as last time. Because I've shrunk this so much here now, it's getting hard for the machine to actually do anything with it. So I'm gonna grind off all of these shrinker marks here, and that'll thin this out a little bit. And then maybe I can go in and shrink it some more. I think I need to shrink it a bit more. Okay, this thing is really starting to tune up here. It's fitting the truck very well. I've been doing a little bit more wheeling off camera. I did the grinding on this here, and did one more round of shrinking all through here. Did a little bit more wheeling. I'm gonna try to finish this off. My battery's dying on the camera, so I'm going to go at this at a reduced pressure now, just to try and smooth this out a little bit. It's kind of ridgy from the wheeling. Want to get rid of some of these wheeling marks. If this will happen, I don't know. And still put a little bit more shape in it. I still need a little bit more shape. Like this needs to get bigger here. You can really see now how it's really a cab corner now. Pressure a bit more. Good little machine. So I've never done this before, never made a part. Played around with English wheels, but I've never actually made a part with one. So this is basically, well, I mean, I guess other than the English wheel part, I did shrinking on the other part, on the other side here. I shrank it way deeper. I don't know how effective it was, and then I did do some stretching with a hammer, and so I'd stretch it out with the hammer and then planish it with hammer and dolly. So basically, I was doing the same thing as I am here, just a different method. I guess this is the English method, and the method I used on the other side was more the Italian method, I guess. I don't think Italians are big on English wheels. It might be now, I don't know. But they're more shot bag and hammers and planishing hammer, hand planishing even maybe. Still needs a bit more right here. So, just watched a video while I was having lunch. Ray Shaleen, crochet for sheet metal. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he does a lot of videos on this kind of thing. And, you know, I've watched a lot of his videos. I've watched a lot of, I guess, Lazzy. I can't remember I guess it's just Lazzy. I can't remember what his channel's called, but I believe he's a Swedish guy, raised an American. He's out in Massachusetts. Anyways, those two guys, and who else? Kent White. I believe he's called the Gentleman of Metal Shaping. And who's the other guy? I'll think of it. Anyways, those three guys, and Kent White. And we've got a young guy here, Carl Fisher, Make It Custom. He's another good metal shaper. So all these guys are inspiring to me. So thank you. Learn a lot from watching their videos. Makes it a lot easier. Come to do something like this, I'm a very visual guy, and I'm a visual learner, so when I see somebody do something, I just replay that over and over in my head, and I imagine making this part, and it's gone pretty much the way I planned. I thought I could do it all with wheeling. I probably could have, actually, now that I think about it, but I did do some shrinking here. It's not a big deal, I guess. I mean, it's whatever makes it easy for you, right? So I've never, other than prior to making this part, this is probably the most wheeling I've ever done. Just playing around with these two parts. So, on this machine. So this getting to this point is just a lot of years of dreaming about this, and shaping metal with different processes, right? Like I made the cab corner for the other side with a different method. I used a lot of shrinking, and I did some stretching with just a hammer, just a ball peen hammer, and I planished it out with a like a hammer and dolly. Or actually, I think, yeah. So yeah, I planished that out a lot on this thing, excavator tooth. So there's more than one way to do something, but I love this method. This is beautiful. I mean, look at it. Look at how it's turning out. Just shiny. I mean, I'm gonna have to scuff it to make the paint stick, but the thing about this, because it's shiny like this now, you can hold it up to the lights and you can see, like, you can see any imperfections, and I don't see any. I can see the reflection of my metal art sign there. You can see my face, sort of. Not really, actually. You can't actually see my, oh yeah, I can see my face. Maybe you can see my face better. But that looks good. It feels good. You know, if it looks good and it feels nice, it's good. So I'm gonna put it on the car, or the cab, and I'll bring you over here, take a look at it. So there it is, all done. As far as shaping goes, you know, I couldn't be happier with the results here. I think it turned out beautifully. It's you know, I look at it and I almost can't believe I made that. I just it's awesome. Anyways, I'm really happy. The machine worked beautifully. I still have to do this return to the door opening. I'm not going to do that on this video. Of course, you know, still has to be trimmed, and you know, the cab needs to be trimmed and welded in. But of course, that's not going to be on this video either. Still a lot of work to do to get this part on the cab. You know, it fits really quite well. It's just kind of laying there, it's touching here, a little loose here, but it's just all, you know, it's trying to go where the original panel is. So once that's cut out of the way, it'll go in there nice. I'm pretty confident of that. Anyways, that was a long one. I hope you didn't get too bored. Hope you skipped through some of it. You know, I skipped through a lot of the footage to get it edited out and sped up and all that. But I just felt that I needed to leave all that wheeling in there just so you could see, you know, what it takes to do something like this. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.